I never thought I would be standing here, explaining why I made the choice that shattered your heart. It wasn't about who was better, but about the situation I found myself trapped in and the pressure I couldn't escape. It feels like the weight of the world is on my shoulders, and I know the decision I made cut deep. But the truth is, I was pushed into a corner, and my heart had to choose the path that made sense at the time, even if it feels wrong now. Please believe me when I say I didn't want to hurt you. The choice wasn't easy. I lost sleep over it. I questioned everything. But there were forces at play, things you don't know, and in the end, I had to choose her. It's painful to admit this, but the decision was never about love or passion. It was about survival, about what I thought would be less complicated. But in choosing her, I feel like I betrayed my own heart, and yours too. Every day, I wonder if I made the right choice. I was caught between loyalty, duty, and desire, and I chose what seemed safer. But safer doesn't always mean better, and now I'm haunted by the thought of losing you forever. I didn't pick her because I loved her more. I picked her because life forced my hand, and I couldn't see a way out without causing pain to everyone involved. But now, I'm starting to realize I might have made the wrong choice. I chose her because I thought it was what was expected of me. I thought it would make things easier for everyone. But deep down, I knew I was leaving a part of myself behind by walking away from you. I wish I could go back to that moment and rethink everything. I chose her because it felt like the right thing to do, but every part of me still aches for you. Maybe I was too afraid to choose what I really wanted. You need to understand, it wasn't about comparing you two. It was about timing, about circumstances that neither of us could control. But that doesn't make the pain of choosing her over you any easier to bear. I thought that by choosing her, I could avoid hurting you, that somehow this would be the path that caused the least damage. But looking at where we are now, I can see I only made things worse. You were always the one who made me feel alive, but life threw so many obstacles in our way. In the end, I chose her because I thought it would bring stability, but stability without love is nothing. I chose her because I was afraid, afraid of what we could become, afraid of the intensity of my feelings for you. And now, I'm left with a choice that feels like the biggest mistake of my life. I didn't want to lose you, but I also didn't want to hurt her. In trying to protect everyone, I ended up breaking my own heart. I chose her because I thought it was the safer choice, but safety isn't everything. Every day, I'm reminded of the moment I chose her over you. It wasn't fair, and I know now that I was too scared to take the risk with you, to dive into the unknown, and that fear cost me more than I imagined. The truth is, I wasn't strong enough to choose you. I let fear and doubt rule my decision. I chose her because I thought it would be easier, but nothing about this feels easy now. I chose her because I thought it would hurt less in the long run. But now, standing on the other side of that decision, I realize the pain is still here, and it's worse than I ever imagined. I was torn between two paths, and I chose the one that felt less dangerous. But in doing so, I left behind the possibility of something real with you, and that's a regret I'll carry with me for a long time. I didn't choose her because I wanted to. I chose her because I had to. There were things happening behind the scenes that you don't know about, and I wish I could have been braver for us. Sometimes the choice that seems easiest is the one that leads to the most heartache. I picked her because I thought it would simplify things, but now my heart feels more tangled than ever. I chose her because I thought it would spare you from the mess my life had become. But looking back, I can see that you were always the one I should have trusted to stand by me. I didn't pick her because she was better than you. I picked her because I thought it would solve problems I didn't know how to handle. But now, all I feel is this overwhelming sense of loss. I made the decision with my head, not my heart. I chose her because I convinced myself it was logical. But logic doesn't heal the ache I feel when I think of what could have been with you. There were too many factors at play, too many people involved. I chose her because I thought it was the only way to keep the peace. But in keeping the peace, I lost my chance at real happiness with you. Choosing her wasn't a reflection of how I felt about you. It was a reflection of the pressure I was under, the expectations weighing me down. I chose her because I thought it would make life easier, but it hasn't. I never imagined that choosing her would mean losing you completely. It felt like the only option at the time, but now I see that I didn't give us the chance we deserved. I chose her because the thought of hurting her felt unbearable. But in the process, I hurt you, and I hurt myself. It's a choice that haunts me every day. It wasn't about love, it was about obligation. I picked her because I felt like I had no other choice. But the truth is, my heart never stopped longing for you. I thought choosing her would make everything easier, that it would bring clarity. But all it's brought is confusion and regret, because deep down, I know I should have chosen you. The decision was never about who I cared for more. It was about fear, about uncertainty. I picked her because I wasn't brave enough to take the leap with you, and now I regret it every day. I wish I could say that choosing her was the right decision, but I can't. All I can say is that I was scared, confused, and I didn't want to hurt anyone. But in trying to protect everyone, I hurt you the most. I didn't choose her because she made me happier. I chose her because I was too afraid to face the truth of how I felt about you. Now, all I'm left with is regret. I picked her because I thought it was the responsible thing to do. I thought it would keep everything in balance. But now, everything feels more out of balance than ever before. Choosing her was never about who I loved more. It was about what seemed practical, what seemed manageable. But my heart never stopped aching for you, even when I made that choice. I know I made the wrong choice, but at the time, it felt like the only choice. I picked her because I thought it would make life simpler, but life without you has been anything but simple. I was forced to choose her because I was too scared to choose the unknown with you. But now, the only thing I'm certain of is that I made a mistake. I thought that by choosing her, I was doing the right thing. But the right thing doesn't always feel right. And losing you has shown me that sometimes the hardest choice is the one that leads to true happiness. I didn't pick her because she was what I wanted. I picked her because I thought it would hurt less. But the pain of losing you has been far worse than anything I could have imagined. I convinced myself that choosing her was the only way to keep things from falling apart. But now, everything feels broken, and I wonder if I'll ever be able to repair the damage I've done to us. It wasn't about love, It was about obligation, about duty. I chose her because I thought it was what was expected of me. But now, all I want is to go back and choose what my heart truly wanted. I didn't choose her because I thought she was better than you. I chose her because I was afraid. Afraid of what we could become. Afraid of how intense things could get with you. The moment I chose her, a part of me regretted it. I knew deep down that my heart was still with you, but I didn't know how to navigate the mess I had created. I picked her because it seemed like the logical choice. But love isn't logical, and now I'm left with a choice that feels like a betrayal of everything I really wanted. I thought choosing her would keep everyone happy, but in trying to protect others, I ended up hurting myself and you. I'm sorry for not being brave enough to choose you. The decision wasn't easy, and I know it may seem like I didn't care enough. But the truth is, I picked her because I thought it would spare us both the heartbreak. Now I realize the heartbreak was inevitable. Choosing her was never about love. It was about the weight of expectations, the pressures of life, and the fear of stepping into the unknown with you. I wish I had been stronger. I thought I was doing the right thing by choosing her. I thought it would save us all from unnecessary pain, but in the end, it caused more damage than I ever imagined. I picked her because I thought it would make things easier, that it would save us both from the chaos that was looming. But the chaos found us anyway, and now I'm left wondering what might have been. I was forced into a situation where there were no good options. I picked her because I thought it would cause the least harm. But now I'm realizing the harm I've caused is far greater than I expected. Choosing her felt like the only way out of the mess we were in. But now, as I look back, I see that I only dug us deeper into a hole that I don't know how to climb out of. I didn't choose her because I wanted to. I chose her because I thought it would be the best way to protect us both. But now, I see that the only thing I succeeded in was pushing you away. I picked her because I felt like I had no other choice. The situation was spiraling out of control, and I didn't know how to handle it. But losing you in the process wasn't what I wanted.